Hello! Welcome back to Big Nerds Wargaming. My name is Sam, and today I am painting some knights. Specifically, the armigers. So, I'm doing House Griffith, and you can see I have kind of like this bronzish scheme here. So I did some of it with the airbrush. It came out a little dark, so I'm going to try to do this again, but maybe just a little bit lighter. I did end up going back and doing some layers on here after the fact to lighten it up just a little bit. But I'm going to do that with this one right here. So this is a lot that I got at a swap meet at Adepticon. And they're already kind of started the scheme that I wanted, except for I didn't want to do silver. I wanted to do like this bronze color. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And just checking one thing, I'm trying a new chat widget. So if someone wants to drop in a chat to test, that would be great. Alright, looks like I'm having some chat issues. Let me just switch this over. Bear with me one moment. There we go. Alright, technical difficulties resolved. So, yeah, I'm going to be painting some knights. So, let's get started. I'm going to be using my airbrush for this, so that'll be interesting. Trying out a new camera angle, a little bit closer to my eye level, looking at the desk. Also, so you can see what I'm doing. So, let's give this a run. So, let me just take a sip here from my Big Nerds Wargaming mug, available. There's a link from our channel page for merch if you're interested. Speaking of merch, there is a free shipping that is going on starting this Wednesday through Sunday. I'll post a message about it in a bit. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to move this finished one off to the side so I don't get paint all over him. And we'll set him over there. And yeah, so I got my airbrush here. It's just a cheap, normal airbrush. One of those like value packs on Amazon. Nothing fancy. I don't need anything fancy for what I'm doing. All right, and the scheme I'm gonna be doing is using some Army Painter air paints. We got rough iron, and we have night scales, and I might try to mix in some of this evil chrome, I think, just to lighten it up a little bit at the very end. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. So, it's already all magnetized, which is great. So I'll set those aside. And we'll start just with a base coat of night scales, which is their darkest metallic. It's a very, very dark bronze color. Gonna mix this up on my vortex mixer real quick. All right, and we're off to the races. If you haven't used these air paints before, they're really great. They're pretty much pre-mixed, ready to go. I'm just gonna do some test sprays here. Yeah, that looks good. I don't need to be really neat for this step. Just basically base coating the entire metal from silver to that really dark bluish black silver. I'm gonna try not to get it on the armor. But if I do, it's not a big deal. I'll just go back and paint it later. I'm not too worried about that. So I'll make sure that all the light silver is gone at the end of this step. I love using the airbrush. It goes really fast. You can see how well it's covering everything. Really thin coats. For vehicles and big models like this, it's definitely a must-have, I think. You think with the airbrush, it could go pretty quickly to paint the whole thing, but surprisingly, there's a lot of manual steps with the brush afterwards. This is just going to get us the base coats down, and get us kind of most of the way there on that initial base coloring. Let's make sure I get those stacks really well. All up here on the side. As well as on the head of the armature. Actually, you know what would make this a little bit easier is if I can remove some of these armor panels. Might be able to do so. Depending on how well they're glued on. These ones aren't really budging. Yeah, I'd really like to get that center one off, but I'll just have to paint around it. There we go. So almost done with this face coat. Just gotta finish up the leg here. And this will kind of add some nice shadow to like the darker spots of the metal. He's kind of got a blue tint to it. So when I start laying over the brown, or like the bronze color, it's gonna contrast with it and You'll start to see it in the recesses, and it'll look really cool. There's just a couple spots I need to get still. These arms, I'm going to rotate these all the way around so I can get to those. And then the weapons, the autocannons. See a little bit more paint, just a drop. Let's get over. I can rotate this without scraping off the paint. There we go. Alright, so we have the body done, and now on to the arms. Let that dry. I'll get the other one here. Looks like I need a little bit more paint. Some more night scales. Need a little bit more night scales. There we go. I'm gonna get the barrel here. Alright, and that'll be everything needed for night scales, so I'm going to go ahead and clean my airbrush out real quick. If you've never airbrushed before, I'd recommend giving it a try. You can get a pretty cheap set for maybe about $70 or so. You get a brush and a compressor. Like I said, I just got one off of Amazon, and I've been using that for a lot of stuff. I did upgrade to a nicer brush, which I'm not using right now because I don't really need the precision for it, just for what I'm doing here. So this one that came with this set from Amazon is great for base coats and kind of wide swaths, and it doesn't really clog very easily, which is really nice. So it still gets a lot of use from me. Just gonna clean out my airbrush here, and then I'll switch to the next color. Alright, so next I'm going to take rough iron, which is kind of a dark bronze. We're going to layer that over the night scales. Give this a good shake. How's the chat working? It wasn't, so I switched back to the old one. I'll have to mess with it later. Figure out how to get the Streamlabs chat working. That's okay. It's not a big deal. That reminds me, let me pull up my other chat window here. Just so I can see you. Windows. Docs. Chat. The bobbins lurking. Welcome, lurk away. Painting some nights. Thanks for joining. Just gonna give this a good shake here. And we're going to do rough iron. It's gonna be great. So, just gonna get some of that in my reservoir. And let's get some browns on there. I really do like that color palette you chose. Thank you. It's actually a color palette for a lore night house, House Griffith. I like their color palette too, so I decided to paint these up that way. It's something a little different because they have a lot of them that are like big green or like red, but I like the bronze and the bone color. I got this this joint here that seems to be stuck. Nice. There we go. And it came unglued. And now I have the option. Do I magnetize this? that would be pretty cool. And do I do a magnetizing tangent right now, this very second? Oof, decisions. I don't think I will. Maybe later. Always magnetic. Alright, so this one I'm going from kind of a distance away. Let me try to zoom in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. It's really dark, but it'll lighten up. That way when they die in battle, you can have it fall apart dramatically. Yes, I can. It's definitely happened before. By mistake. So I'm going over this night scales with this rough iron kind of very lightly. But still want that dark rough iron to show underneath. We're just going to get a subtle layered effect here. There we go, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, doing this further back, it's really subtle, very subtle on the buildup of color. So distance, how much PSI I have, and how far I'm falling back the trigger and needle all contribute to how the paint comes out and how it gets painted. Which you just kind of get a feel for the more you practice the airbrush. Also working on my aim. Think about making a target sheet to practice aiming with the airbrush and doing straight lines and, you know, hitting smaller spots. Controlling overspray. Sometimes you don't want to practice on your models. Spots I miss. Let me just get those real quick. Yeah, these air paints are great. I love them. Especially these metallics. Being able to airbrush metallics like this is wonderful. might end up painting these gun barrels a different color later, but I'm just gonna get that base coat down anyways, in case I change my mind. Okay. So now, I'm going to clean out my airbrush here. Get ready for the next color. To test out to see just how light this color is. So I put a little water in there, spread that through. Alright, we're going to try out this Evil Chrome and just see how light that is. I might have to mix in a little bit of rough iron to darken it up a bit, but I'm hoping that this will work as a nice kind of zenithal highlight color. Depending on how this comes out, I might need to switch to my other airbrush, or just tighten up the spray a little bit so that I can have some more control over where this goes, because I don't want to overdo the highlights here. But we got to give this a good shake because it's an army painter paint, and we all know how well those like to separate on us. Alright, chat, what are we working on tonight? What's on your hobby desk? Blood Knights. Yeah, nice. Those are the, like the vampire count Blood Knights? Age of Sigmar? You want to see? Yes, I do want to see. Alright, here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. This is different than my test run of the scheme, so see how this works with the airbrush. I'm trying to do this mostly as a zenithal highlight here. Gotta be very, very subtle with this. Just want to lighten it up a little bit. That's not too bad. Okay, so we got the lighter brass highlight, and we'll just do a comparison of the one I painted previous, just to see how close that is. So the one I painted before is still pretty dark, but I do like the lightness that this scheme has, that it just painted, so I think I'm going to go forward with that. But it's close enough to this original one I did, so I don't have to really redo anything. It's just kind of like a test scheme model anyways. So yeah. Alright, so I think the metallics are actually done as far as the airbrush is concerned. So I can put this away and move on to the brush. We are so back. Welcome, Redacted Zero. Painting some knights tonight. Try to harvest that precious air paint. That's not coming out. I'll just count it as a loss. Alright, let me get this airbrush cleaned out and move on to the brush. Things will get a little bit more exciting. Just kidding. I will take a sip from my Big Nerds Wargaming mug. Much satisfying. Alright. So we are done with the airbrush. That mug looks sick. Thank you. You can purchase one. There's a link to our store on the channel homepage. Got t-shirts and mugs and stuff. However, if you're interested in one, I would wait until Wednesday, because from Wednesday through Sunday, there's running a promo where you get free shipping. So save a couple bucks and get free shipping. Yeah, the mug is a lot of fun though. Alright, I'm gonna go dump this out real quick, right behind me. I'm going to transform the painting desk a little bit. Alright, and we are ready to go. Ready to roll. So, we're going to get started with the metallics. We're going to still work on the metallics. So I'll bring this guy out for some reference shot here. So you can see what I'm aiming for. And trying to remember exactly what I did. Yes. Yes, okay. So, I want to start breaking up this metallic scheme. So, we're going to do contrast paint, and we're going to use Basilicanum Gray. So that is a great color to use over metallics. Gotta try to get us in a little bit closer here. Better see what I'm doing. Alright, and get some brushes out that I'll need. My shade brush. A size 0. And our kind of standard size army painter brush. Where are you? Where are you? Digging for my brushes. Alright, they're in here somewhere. Where are you? Where are you? Not Reaper Minis. I can use that one. I haven't used the Reaper Mini brush in a while. Always. Dedicated paint shaker. Yes. Oh, my link didn't go through in chat. No link that I can see. Bummer. Well, in the future, I'll set up a channel Discord at some point. Once you get a little bit more subscribers, and that'll be a perfect place to share such things. But you're painting Blood Knights. Are those Age of Sigmar? Is that fantasy or 40k? Pretty sure it's fantasy, right? I appreciate the effort, by the way, too. Alright, so taking the Basilicanum Gray and things like these rivets here, or these kind of like, what do you call them, joints? The ball joints? Gonna get those grimed up with Basilicanum Gray. Just to kind of break up those colors a little bit, so everything's just not the same color. Because that can be a little bit much. Took my lady to the local game store to look at minis. She didn't hate it as much as she thought she would. Aha. Nice. That's where it starts. AOS, yes. And now we got a Kill Team demo game scheduled. Might be able to get her involved. Ooh. Fun. I got my wife to play Kill Team once. She actually got me a kill team for my birthday. The Novitiates kill team. As a gift, and then the gift was I painted up, and then we can play kill team together. Those are not Paragon war suits. No, they are not. You know, when you impulse buy an army at a used sale, you have to paint it. So that's what I'm doing. They are Imperial Knights, so at least they're on the right team. It could be Trader Knights. Welcome, David. Thanks for joining us. You missed the exciting part where I airbrushed all the metallics. She was showing interest in fantasy stuff. Fair, but Knights, how is that an impulse buy? It was too good of a deal to pass up. I got 2 big Knights and 4 Armigers used for 200. I couldn't pass that up. So now I have a Knight army that I'm slowly working on. I'm just trying to remember what the heck I did. Yes, okay. The flesh is weak. It sure is. It's hard to say no sometimes to a good deal. Set the explanation to the wife, or actual cost. Actual cost. It was a steal. Sounds too good to be true. I mean, it was one of those. It was one of those deals where I just couldn't say no. It was too good to be true. Too good of a deal. Oh, more hobby in the lobby. Good on you. Good find. Yeah. So it's taking precedence on the rest of my pile of shame at the moment. Because I want to get these guys painted up and playing some games with them, because I think it would be fun. I like mechs. I like robots. Always a good time. No, my wife is very supportive of my plastic crack addiction. She's a wonderful lady. And we'll get down in here. These connecting joints. I don't know what any of this stuff is actually called. Well, since I busted off the top of this accidentally, it's been making it a lot easier to paint. How the heck did I... Ah, yes, okay. I, like, painted this first one over the weekend, and I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and I can't, like, remember everything I did. I'm trying to remember everything I did. I painted these. So I don't know how you guys do it, but like when I get a new unit, I paint one model to completion and figure out the scheme and everything. And then I kind of go in and do the rest. So that's what I was doing over the weekend, figuring out the scheme. I think I might do a painting guide video for House Griffith. Just so that it's all nicely documented and I can go back to it in the future. Alright. Got that. Oh, there's some spots in the armpits here I need to get. Just to break up that brass. Let's get these exhaust pipes. I've been also playing around with the Army Painter effects colors, specifically the orange glow. Adding some like glowing stuff to these guys. So like this one over here, the back engine's kind of glowing. You can see, just kind of fun. Those exhaust pipes are glowing orange, getting hot. And those colors work really well. I'm a huge fan. Makes painting effects really easy. Speeds up the process. Right? Isn't that cool? I was super excited how well it turned out. I just did some gray underneath and a little bit of white in the center, and then went over that with the effect paint, and yeah, it turned out great. I might get to that step here tonight. We'll see. Yeah, so it's like a very stark light and dark contrast, and kind of lighten up the brass just a little bit, but not too light. I still like it to look brown, or like brownish. So I'm trying to find the right balance between light and dark overall. Let's get here in the head. Just darken up some of this metal, break it apart. Also been using the Pro Acryl metallics for most of this, and they're working out quite nice. Gosh, models like this with lots of bits inside them, yeah, it's intimidating. It is intimidating a little bit. You kind of have to pick how detailed is this going to be. Just kind of go from there. But yeah, finding like what to paint a different color and what not to paint, it can be kind of a challenge. So you don't want to like overdo it, otherwise you'll never finish. Alright, so this gun, let's do this back nub here, the silicone gray. Get a different metallic color going on there. We'll also do ammo. Or maybe I'll do those with I'll paint them to silicon gray for now. I might do those different colors. Probably do those in like a silver. I'm glad you're enjoying Pro Acryl, Sam. Yes, good recommendation, David. I do not have buyer's remorse. They've been working out quite nicely. This should just about wrap things up for Basilicanum Gray. Once I finish this back nub here. Move on to some other base coats. Specifically, dark silver. Alright. Moving on to dark silver. Specifically, Pro Acryl dark silver. Let's raise up the camera a little bit. Get a new one that can support my camera's weight. Down with the meta. Oh, I see somebody has watched the new video. Meta schmeta. Yeah. I don't hate match play completely. I'm just not a fan of the competitive match play. It feels like you're playing a whole different game at that point. But yeah, you know, I love the models, I love the hobby, I love the game. Just yeah, there's some aspects about it, you know. It is a whole different game, yeah. It's just not terribly fun, you know. I feel like it sucks the fun out of the room. Alright, biggish size, normal size brush. It's gonna do some dark silver in some spots, like these guys sticking out here. Yeah, I'm all about the narrative. Playing some Crusade last night with the gaming group. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, so now I'm taking dark silver and just picking out even more metallic details to further break up what you're looking at here so it doesn't all look the same. trying to get this camera angle. Still figuring out the best angle for this. So that my hands don't cover up what I'm doing, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Also, so the camera's not in my face, because I don't want that. I played our local Dipticon tournament vets recently. He tabled me in 4 turns with his Eldar. It was a crusade game, but he built a competitive list, and it showed. I had fun. I learned a few things. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's... You know, it can be a narrative game with a hard list still. I guess it depends on maybe like the intent. Because some stuff is just really overpowered and really good. Like the Catan shards, for example, or like a unit of 6 wraiths. They just don't die. And you know, if you really like those models and you want to use them in your army, you know, I don't think you should not. Maybe not. Maybe don't have 2 units of them, you know. I think with like overpowered stuff, I like to try to keep it to like 1 unit of it, so it's not like too much to deal with. Although I do like having kind of like a diverse army with a bunch of different stuff. I generally favor the generalist detachments overall. Switch on place. My job to figure out how to take it off the table. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do dark silver down in here. For a balanced list as well. Yeah. Kind of the all around. Good for most scenarios. Especially when you're playing Crusade and you don't know what mission you're going to be playing ahead of time. So you kind of definitely want to have something that's generalist, because those missions can be quite interesting, to say the least. I lean towards a gimmick that I think is fun, like, oops, all flyers and guard or something. Yeah. I like gimmicks too, as long as it's not like a broken gimmick, you know? Like, it'll be fun and maybe a little annoying to deal with, but not like I'm gonna table you by end of turn 2 gimmick, you know? Yeah, I like to do gimmicks too, though. That's kind of fun. Like, I played against Andrew, who you've seen on the channel. He did orcs, and he brought all kilocans. That was a goofy game. Yeah. I've done a gimmick where I just bring all the Termagants I have in Hormagants and just try to like see how many you know, endless multitude units I can get out, just because it'd be funny, like, you know, covering the entire table with gaunts. You know, like how the Tyranids are in the lore. Yeah, this Pro Acrylic paint is great. It requires hardly any thinning with water. Actually, some of these metallics I just go right out of the dropper because they're very thin and they have great coverage. Kind of learning their ways the more I work with them. In the most recent online game, I ran no tanks and used ordnance weapons teams instead. That was pretty fun. For Guard, yeah. The Guard are a fun army to do little gimmicks with because they just have so many different playstyles. Do some pretty fun lists with the Guard. I found these good proxies for Deathcore Krieg Death Riders, and I want to get a list that has 3 units of those and then 3 units of Rough Riders and just have like the cavalry. I think that would be so fun. I don't know how good it is, but you know, it'd be interesting. I'd give it a shot. I'm also going to paint this heavy stubber up here, dark silver. So Zero, you play online, you play on Tabletop Simulator? I've never played online 40k. You stick the Rider Marshal on them, they get Infiltrator mixed with normal screening 9-inch moves. Really nice. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, a bunch of Deathcore guys. It'd also be fun. The proxies that I use, there's also the creator made a bunch of them in like dead poses. So it'd be fun to have a bunch of those guys printed out. And then as your Kriegsmen die, you just like drop some bodies on the battlefield. All bloody and painted up and everything. That'd be extreme. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is really good for Warhammer. People have built tons of mods to simplify things. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I'd enjoy Warhammer Online. I feel like the biggest thing I like about it, like the game is fun and everything, but I just like to have and see the models on the table with like all the terrain and everything. It probably definitely feels very different online. Is the online scene really competitive? Or is it pretty casual? I could see a bunch of people online getting really competitive because there's nothing stopping you from building a super meta list. Yes. And someone you can point and laugh at when you kick their butt between their ears. Or when they roll all ones. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do these gun barrels in dark silver. Just to get some contrasting metal color going on here. So people matchmake through one really large Discord server, and you can sort of sort yourself in beginner, casual, competitive. Okay, so I haven't met anyone who was out of line yet. Only nice people. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. What's the terrain setup like? Is it always city fight? Ruins everywhere? Or is there some more interesting kind of terrain setups? Probably switch to a bigger brush here, but oh well. Alright, so then after this, I'm going to move on. Oh, I see a spot I missed on the legs, so I'll touch that up. And then after that, I'm going to move on to doing some highlights on the metallics. Actually, no, Null and Oil. I'm all over the place. Null and Oil is next. Nothing stopping you from making your own setup. It's fully custom after all, yeah. Most of the time, it's perfectly mirrored, yeah. The matched play. I imagine it's mostly just match play as well, because it's kind of the easiest for pickup games. Everybody's kind of on the same page. Something alternative and not a replacement for IRL Warhammer, yeah. Good to test a list or teach someone without making them get models. Oh yeah, I suppose that is a good good use case for it. And then you don't have to physically meet up somewhere, but I suppose that's also part of the allure as a social thing. I almost stuck my brush in my big nerd mug. Kind of dangerous having it here. All right. Null and Oil is next. Yeah, I don't want this guy to look too dark and grimy, otherwise he might be mistaken for a Chaos Knight, and we wouldn't want that. Alright. Null and Oil, where are you? There you are. The sale every month, so it becomes $10 into intro to tabletop. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator, if you're not familiar, David, they have like, you can get mods for pretty much any game, board game, war game, and all the components and everything, and you can play games online. Alright, so the Null and Oil is going over all the dark silver. Ooh, I like the way that looks. That's real nice. And then also, in some of these recesses on the legs, I'm doing Null and Oil. Some of these spots where there's some hard ridges, add a splash of Nuln Oil there. Just gonna grimy him up a little bit. I'm not going over everything with Nuln Oil. Just a couple, picking out some spots here and there where I want to add some extra shade. I'm quite sure I would prefer the real thing to that, but yeah, it was I guess it was a nice alternative for a lot of people during the COVID times, the Rona times. Since you know, a lot of places won't let you meet up in person. A lot of people didn't want to meet up in person, all that stuff. I got back in the 40K after that, though, or like as things were kind of opening back up, so I didn't really experience the full lockdown while in the hobby. But I would have been really annoyed by it, I think. Alright, Nuln Oil on the barrel. So I found that dark silver, Nuln Oil, and then a dry brush with Iron Breaker, back to Citadel there, is a good dark metal silver recipe. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Nuln Oil over this dark silver looks great. You know, a lot of people are poo-pooing on the new reformulated Citadel washes, but I actually kind of like the way they flow and pool. Alright, so for here on the head, I'm gonna get Nuln Oil in some of these like inner panels here with these components, just to darken that up a little bit. Yep, and if you work it from that, you get some really nice metallic results. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm just gonna Nuln Oil these inner bits here, just to kind of make it a little more interesting. Back here. Just adding a little bit of shade. Throwing some shade. So I have something to work from. And the handlebars. Alright. Now comes the fun part. I say, sarcastically. Highlights. Alright, we have bronze I'm going to be using. Krill, bronze. Good color. give it a good shake here. Chestnut wash from black from back in the day. It's still one of the best washes they've ever made. I got the whole metallic set, yes. I figured I got the white and I got the metallic set. So, yeah, I haven't tried out the metallic medium yet. Kind of curious about that. How well that works. You know, Reichland Flesh Shade is pretty much the new chestnut ink, I think. That rhymed. The chestnut ink, I think. Alright, get some of that bronze. I saw that Ninjon has his own Pro Acryl set. That's what all the cool kids are doing. Obviously, our beloved plastics is worth its weight of gold, but how expensive are the paints and tools? Yeah. It adds up. It sure does. Sure does add up. But if you take care of your paints, they do last for years and years and years. As long as you make sure they're closed up nice and tight. Alright, it's time for some edge highlights. I think this is dry enough over here, so... They're kind of hard to see depending on how the light catches. If you're in the hobby, I would encourage you stay small and explore slowly. Yes, I think it's easy to overbuy tools and stuff. Especially in the age of YouTube where everyone's got all these tools that they just whip out and show off, and you feel like you need to have it too. So I'm just doing some edge highlights here. Don't want to go overboard. Don't want to highlight everything. Working around this wet Nuln Oil here. Living on the edge. Let's just switch to a different brush. To dry this Nuln Oil real quick with the hairdryer. Best hobby tool ever. A $2 brush from Michaels works as well as a $8 brush from Citadel. Probably. A $4 Army Painter brush, or however much they cost, works just as well as a brush from Citadel. Also, you can find some really cheap brushes on Amazon, and they're actually not half bad. In fact, the one I'm using right now is the Amazon special. It's working out pretty well. It holds the tip nicely. It's great for like edge highlighting. It's nice and long. Alright, time for the feet. I prefer shorter brush myself. It depends on what I'm doing. Edge highlighting, I like the long one, because then you can come in on the side of the brush like this really easily, and it's kind of got a consistent thickness to it. I spy this over time anyways, but now it's not the best time to be young adult economically. Yeah, it's definitely a process. I started with a I got the Citadel starting paint set, you know, that comes with like 8 colors or so, a brush. And I used that for my Space Marines when I first started painting again. You know, a few years ago, and just kind of buying one color at a time as I need it, or want to try out something, and you know, before you know it, you have a nice collection of paints. And you know, if you only play one army, you really don't need a whole lot of paints. I collect a few armies, so that's why I have as many paints as I do. And I'm kind of pushing myself to become a better painter, and so I'm trying some more advanced techniques. So I have some more paints for that. But I mean, most people, I think, you can get by with maybe about a dozen colors. If that, maybe even less. Working on that presumption, if you have a job, be sure to give yourself allowance or some sort of fun stuff. Yeah. Also, make sure you spend less money than you make. Something that a lot of people sometimes struggle with. I am not giving financial advice. I am not legally certified for that. The box art is a lie. Most important thing. Oh, yes. The box art is a lie, especially the colors that they tell you to use. I've never had a credit card for that very reason. Yeah, they can be dangerous. Definitely can be dangerous. It's a slippery slope. Speaking of slippery slope, the merch store is having a free shipping promotion running from Wednesday through Sunday this week. So if anyone's looking at picking up some merch, now or Wednesday would be the time to do it. Wednesday through Sunday. The promo is running. You get free shipping on all orders. So you can save a couple bucks. I'll post about it in the community tab on the channel once the promotion goes live. This weekend, Sam, this weekend I will throw my money at you. Hey, only if you can comfortably afford it. And you want to. I appreciate the support, though. Yeah, I was recently able to monetize the channel, too, so... maybe in a couple months, I'll make my first $100. It's slow going at the size we are, so... But yeah, I'd love to grow it and get it nice and big. And do more videos and more content, all that good stuff. Alright, let's get this inner thigh here on this leg. Yeah, these edge highlights are kind of therapeutic. That's why waiting for the weekend, I worked a bunch of overtime. Nice. Working the grind. My hoodie funds were spent on Sisters this weekend. Oh yeah, I pre-ordered the Gene Stealer Cult Codex. That'll be fun. Looking forward to that. I bet you're looking forward to the Sisters Codex and all the new stuff in that. I don't like that if you want the new model, though, you have to get the Battle Force until they release it on its own. Which will probably be like a year from now or something stupid. They always do that. Because I want that guy with the big exploding brain. The Brainiac guy. He's so goofy looking. Piffed. What's that for? I know the Warhammer Reddit, the Gene Stealer Cult fans are they don't seem happy with what they've seen. But, you know, that's the internet, right? I am reserving judgment until I see the codex and play a couple games with it. Everyone's armies has changed drastically on how they play in 10th edition. You're not going to get the crazy stuff that we had in 9th edition, especially with Gene Stealer Cult. All the shenanigans that were kind of complicated. I did like them, though. They were fun. Stephen Box from Vanguard Tactics. Oh, Stephen Box from Vanguard Tactics substituted a Geminine Superior with a canister. Geminine Superior with a canister jump pack. I've Heard mostly good things about the Genesteer Codex. Nice. Oh, from like people online who have read it and had it, you know, reviewed. Have said good things. Because that would be a good sign. Because the people who are saying not good things are the people who actually haven't read the book. Per the usual. Yep. The little chicks that run with Saint Celestine. Aha, gotcha. Keep asking myself, am I doing too much detail on these knights? But then I remember I only have 4 of these guys, and I have 3 big knights I need to paint. So it's like 7 models. Maybe this is the appropriate amount of detail. And they are big models after all. But if someone's looking for a shortcut for this kind of step, a dry brush might work. But I would do the dry brush before doing the Basilicanum Gray. But yeah, dry brushing is a great way to get the similar looking effect a little quicker than full on edge highlighting. Also, only edge highlighting things that are higher on the model, as like where the light would catch, is another kind of cheat hack thing to help save you some time. But edge highlighting is one of those things, the more you do it, the easier it is, the faster you can do it. But it is very slow the first few times. It's very hard the first few times. Alright, onto the torso here, or the, yeah. So I'm just gonna highlight these like support beams. They're welded going around. On those hard edges. Edge highlighting with metallics is it's interesting. Get some interesting effects. I usually don't do highlights with metallics, but for this, being so much metallic, I think it's kind of necessary. Small robots to big robots. That's right. Hello, Travis. Welcome back. You tried the metallic speed paints. I have not. I've not tried the metallic speed paints. I'm rocking the Pro Acryl metallics tonight. Hey Travis, who won the big brawl last night? I never saw the report. In our gaming group, they did a crusade scenario. Our game master, he did this like 4-player free-for-all, crazy scenario. It was pretty wild. Curious who won. Care to hazard a guess? The orcs? Either the orcs or you. Was it Gut Rekka and his warband? Andrew was tabled first. Oh. Did Higgy win? I snuck a tank on the objective at the end. Ah, sneaky. That's funny. I won my game sneakily as well. It was the one with like the 2 objective points, and you have to capture them. And you have to perform an action and then survive through your opponent's turn. And my first attempt failed horribly, and I lost like most of my army. But then I snuck a unit of Gene Stealers on the other objective on the other side of the table and did it. And they survived the shooting, and I had 2 of them left. And I won the mission. It's pretty funny. I tank shocked, charged his war boss. It was like 8 mortals and only saved 2 on his field of pain. Then Brutalis went through and finished him. Brutalis put in work. Yeah, the Brutalis is brutal. Yeah, those melee armies are hard to deal with when they just charge in there and wreck you up. That's funny. I love those goofy scenarios. There's one Crusade supplement in 9th edition that had nothing but multiplayer missions. And they had like special free-for-all rules where the player who's last in the rotation gets to like have first dibs at picking a special like buff ability that they get to kind of counteract the weirdness of the I go you go with 4 players. That's pretty fun. Alright, almost done here on this side. His Mega Knobs chop down the TWC. The TWC. Thunderwolf Claw. Thunderwolf Cavalry. Thank you. I think I made 2 4-pin bones on a whole squad. Ouch. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Well, most importantly, well, you won, so you obviously had fun, but was everybody else having fun? It looks fun. Anyways. I think so. For a while it looked like the Votan were going to run away with it. Ooh. So it was close. He took a whole lot of damage from Votan Injured traded a lot. Maybe we all pile in on the Votan. Those Votan are tough. They're really hard to beat. And like everyone you kill, they get tougher. They get the grudge tokens, and then they just like hit and wound you better. They're not a force to be trifled with. That's for sure. I had a really close game against the Votan last week. First time ever playing against them too. Yeah, they still seem pretty tough. I'm trying to think, what armies have I not ever played against? I haven't played against demons. I haven't played against... Maybe it is demons. Just demons? I guess I haven't played against every single chapter of Space Marines, but I've played against most of them. I never played against anything a shooting army before. Yeah, playing against Tau is interesting. Or Imperial Guard. It's always interesting playing against. Or a kind of jack of all trades army geared for shooting, like Space Marines. I may flex in some shooting and run gladiators a few weeks. Oh, jeez. I freaking hate gladiators. They're so tough. And they just delete whatever they look at. Yeah, I think I need to retool my list and get some more anti-vehicle rolling up, because my Vanguard Swarm, it's great for smaller games, but now that we're kind of at a higher power level, I need some more punch, and I need to get some monsters in there. Monsters with range. Or more lethality, at least. Nid shooting feels so bad. Oh, the Gladius detachment, not gladiators. Aha, aha. Yeah, Nid shooting, I feel like needs just a little oomph. Maybe I'd actually be okay if they just lower the points on a bunch of stuff, so that way the Nids can have a bunch of like big beasts with their kind of mid guns, because they are pretty tough and they can suck up a lot of damage. So just having some more stuff on the table, I think, would make a big difference for the Tyranids. And that would be an acceptable adjustment that they'd make. I mean, granted, you'd hope that they get it right out of the gate, but there's a few things in this edition that they have to tweak, I think. Yeah, I know I've said this before, but it feels like the Tyranids are kind of getting the 9th edition Necrons treatment. They're set up as the big bad, but then they're kind of mildly bad. The T-Fex gets a really good anti-tank weapon, right? Yeah, that's 190 points. So it's actually pretty good cost, but you only get 2 shots with the big cannon. The other option is you can give them a acid spray, which is like a anti-elite torrent weapon, which is pretty good. I've run that a few times. Oops. I'm really hoping they hit the internal balance on most codexes, use points and rules. Some units need changes. Yeah. I'm hoping that I want battle line to be more valuable. Or I kind of miss the requirements where you had to take X many, you know, battle line units or troop choices. I kind of miss the were they called detachments? No, they were called formations or whatever. You know, like spearhead, or kind of put some arbitrary restrictions on your list. Pro acrylic paint. It's very flowy. Taking a little getting used to. My natural instinct is to kind of thin everything and then start painting. But some of the stuff goes pretty much thinned right out of the bottle. Alright, I'm gonna get some more dark silver on this gun, I think. I'm gonna do dark silver on this panel. Dark silver back here on this little guy sticking out. Then we can start doing some cool, fun, glowing effects. For the engines. Alright, so specifically the torso. I'm gonna make the smokestacks kind of glowing orange. So here's my finished one. The engine's kind of glowing and the smokestacks are orange. So I'm gonna try to do that same thing again. So I'll use some Administratum gray and Pro Acryl white. Titanium white, to be exact. Alright, Administratum Gray. I'm going to use a dry brush to apply this on the smokestacks. Get my little dry brush out here. Maybe I'll just use this chunky brush. This will work. I want to do this really, really lightly and build up. So, here on the smokestacks. Just going a little tiny circles, just a barely any on the brush. Just slowly building up that gray. Yeah, just like that. And then the other side, same thing. So I'm going to be using the Army Painter effect paint next over this gray. So by using a gray color, you can kind of control the intensity of the effect instead of going over it with pure white. Because white will get you the brightest, but if you want to tone it down, you can go with like a Ministratum or even Dawnstone, just to kind of dial it back a bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. Alright, and then we'll get the engine block here while we got the gray out. Let's get some more gray in the palette. There's a couple other spots where there's like some vents and stuff where I think it would look cool if there's some orange energy or fire glowing out from inside. Alright, so I'm going to take Administratum Gray and just kind of get it in here. Trying to be pretty neat, but a little bit of bleed over is fine because it'll just, you know, read as ambient light or object source light glowing out of there. I'll get on the stacks here, a little bit here, and then these last two I'm going to leave blank. Just to kind of help the heat effect blend out. This will all make sense in a minute or two when I apply the next color. Alright, so we got there, the engine block I need to do, but there's also a couple other spots here. On the side, for example. These vents here on the side by the head, I think that'd be cool. They were also glowing orange. So we'll just go ahead and get that ready. We got these down here. World Eaters are tough. Oh, you know, I don't think I've played against World Eaters. Now that I think about it. I played against Corn Demons. I said I never played against demons, but I have played against corn demons. That's the only demons I have played against. Yeah, World Eaters, they sound tough. They just charge in there and wreck up the day. They are so fast. Yes, they are. Very fast. Yeah, the one time I played against corn demons, they had like those mounted guys. I forget what they're called, but they get like a charge bonus, and there's like 3 units of them, and they're just super fast and just in your face right away. That was a rough game. This is gonna look really cool in a couple minutes. Alright, and then I think that was everywhere for the gray. Now we move on to the white. I need a smaller brush for that. Something with a finer tip. This'll work. Now I'm going to take Pro-Acryl White. And just add to some of the spots, not all of them, where the gray was. Focusing more on the innermost bit to really amplify that brightness. So we got these like little, maybe I'll do a little spot here, here, like this pipe on the exhaust pipe there. These little like welded points. Maybe up this inner tube a little bit. Kind of iterating on what I did on my first model. Get a little bit of water in there. And then for the engine block, I'm just going to do a little streak. These this like heat sink thing. Keeping it mostly gray. And down in here, I'm just gonna do a bead of white. It's a little sloppy. I want to get this a little thinned out. A little flow in there nicely. And then these side vents as well. Let's get some light in there. Just really focusing on the center bit of the vent, but not trying to cover everywhere. Leaving that to the first gray I did. And down here. Just a little touch of white. Alright. Now we're going to let that dry fully. And while that is drying, I'm going to be grabbing the Radiation Glow from War Paints, or Army Painter Fanatic. This will need a really good mixing here. Grab my junky brush here. Always have a junky brush for some of these paints because they're kind of harsh on the nicer brushes. Never throw away a brush. It can find life somewhere else. So we're gonna add some orange glow to this. It's gonna make it look really cool. And gonna come back to the dark silver bits with a little bit of a dry brush. Lighten those up. And then I think it's time to, after that, start working on the carapace. The actual knight armor. Alright, I think we're good here on the effects paint. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah. Very, very vibrant. Very orange. I'm just gonna use my junky brush here and start applying that over the white and gray areas I did earlier. It's gonna go on very like intense and almost like neon looking, but it'll, as it dries, it kind of darkens up. It looks more like a warm orange. Get that in there gingerly. Okay. Then we got these pipes back here, this engine block. So we'll do the pipes. Just gonna kind of take it and spread it around. Very, he said. Gonna add it to all these little like inner bands here on this exhaust stack, and then I'm also gonna add it to these upper ones, even though I didn't do any gray there, but it'll kind of add a transition of darkening up. So it looks like it's cooler towards the top of the stack. It's less heat. At least that's the intended goal. See how it looks. This stuff is very similar to Tesseract Glow and how you apply it. Yeah, I'm a fan of these new effects. They're a lot of fun. I took the blue plasma, and for like the melt-a-gun on my other armature, I did that, and then I went over it with a purple wash to kind of make it look like not plasma, but like, you know, melta energy or whatever. That looks pretty cool. I'll show you guys that in a close-up real quick. One sec. Once I get this. Yeah, so the this gun here that come on, focus. There we go. That blue energy, that purplish blue energy in there, that's with the plasma glow blue from Army Painter. And then I just did like a purple wash over that to kind of give it a different look. I want to get that orange and use it for Volkites. Yeah! That would be perfect for Volkites. Kind of how I picture them. I need some more orange for the engine block. It's a lot of fun. Alright, so then down here, just gonna shove it in this crack. Slap chop for effect. What do you mean by slap chop for effect? Oh, as far as like ease and simplicity, it's the shortcut hack for cool effects. Yes, I would agree. I think that's what you're saying. I'm referring to the Volkite comment. Ah. The Neo-Volkite pistol. You mainly see Volkite stuff with Heresy Marines, right? Except for a couple... I guess there's a few Volkite weapons. You don't see Volkite very much, though. Alright, well this is already looking really cool. Because it's starting to dry, it's starting to get a little bit more orange. It's actually looking more orange on the camera, which is great. Kind of looks more... On camera, it looks like what this one looks like in real life, if that makes sense. Anyways, but it's drying. It's already starting to look really cool. Easy effects right there. There's Neo-Volkites and some newer characters. That being Slap Chop scheme for Votan. Oh, yeah, you could. Slap all the chops. Just gotta dry this real quick. I could see. Voila! We got some cool orange glow on the armature. Woo! I like it. I'm gonna do some dry brushing on the gunmetal bits. Next, oh, I need to all over the place here, but this needs some basilicanum gray. Alright, dry brushing on the metal bits. So I'm going to use, where are you? Little dry brush from Army Painter. This little guy came in a dry brush set. And we'll be using Iron Breaker. Nice medium silver iron metal color. Not quite Lead Belcher, not quite Runefang Steel. Or Stormhole Silver. The metallic speed paints works really well if you gray and then white dry brush the metal. Auto highlights and covers really well. Ah. Yeah, I'll have to try out the Army Painter speed paint at some point. I am curious, at least the metallics. I haven't used the 2.0 speed paints. I heard that the 1.0 ones were kind of a mess. Like they would reactivate and stuff. Alright, so we're just gonna go over these dark silver bits. I like both 1.0 could reactivate. It was nice sometimes and annoying sometimes. Yeah, I suppose if you know about it, then you can kind of use it to your advantage because you can expect it or plan around it. If you're trying to do like some sort of blending or whatever. So all these parts I did dark silver, just going to do a light dry brush with Iron Breaker to lighten it up a little bit. Along with these little servo joints. Add a little bit of a highlight there. Looking good. Kind of wet blend it. Yeah, wet blend it. That was the term I was searching for. I gotta say, painting the second armature is already going much faster than the first one. It's pretty easy when you have the scheme all figured out. And you just go, go, go. And I'm already making a few improvements to the old one. This metal here on these gun barrels. Lighten that up a little bit. It's pretty subtle. There we go. Alright, making some great progress here. I think I'm going to end the night with a little bit of magnet action, perhaps. If I can find a magnet that'll fit in this hole nicely, I'll magnetize the torso. And then I think next time we'll paint the rest of the carapace and finish it up. I'll have 2 armatures done. Try some magnet action here. What do I got? Magnets, magnets, magnets. some of these magnets. Should I have bigger ones? I think I have bigger ones. I think they're actually in the other room somewhere. So, I think I'm going to call it at that. Thanks everyone for watching. Making some good progress on these armatures. And yeah, I'm going to magnetize this guy onto here. And I'll either finish this off camera or maybe I'll save this aside and I'll work on it next stream. And we'll work on the carapace and the other details and everything else. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next one. And like I said, free shipping on all store merch Wednesday through Sunday this week. So be on the lookout for that. All right, y'all have a lovely evening, and I'll catch you next time.